Major League. He has no
We're at
visual
30
concept
seconds.
of anything.
Hi, I'm Donnie. Great. One player coming down the pipe.
We're almost in places. 10 seconds.
Off you glow.
Let's have a fart check.
6,
Press A
5,
to
Go to black?
4,
Go ahead and touch
3.
someone with other people's fingers.
Hi, I'm Cookie Masterson, and I gave Stella her groove back. Oh God, you're by yourself? Please don't tell anyone I was here. And today's wrong answer of the game is being brought to you by
Herbs. They are seriously, totally just herbs used for wholesome baking. We swear.
And right this way. Let's begin with make pranks, not war. Suppose you could travel back in time with some toilet paper. How might you TP Sitting Bull's teepee? Take some Charmin to the Cheyenne, take some Soft and Gentle to the Sioux, take some Angel Soft to the... Wrong answers. Now double quilted for your comfort. Now pay attention. Sitting Bull, perhaps the most famous of all Native American leaders, is of the Sioux Nation. You could also go back in time with some modern toilets so Sitting Bull could spend less time as Squatting Bull. Why not try Baby made a mess in his portfolio? I don't think that E-Trade baby should be sitting around relying on somebody else to make a movie about him and get rich. I think he should just be investing in his own thrilling biopic. Suppose the E-Trade baby uses all his earnings to produce a movie remake. If it makes as much international box office money as the original, which film would be most profitable? E-Trade Baby Mama, Rosemary's E-Trade Baby, 3 Men and an E-Trade Baby, or $1 Million E-Trade Baby? Yeah, always bet on Gutenberg. What? It's wrong? Boo! Never bet on Gutenberg. Watch how easy this is. $1 Million Baby was outclassed by 3 Men and a Baby in the U.S., but worldwide, $1 Million Baby crushed it with over $200 million in gross revenue. I would love to see a movie starring the E-Trade Baby. I would also like to light myself on fire. This one's known as the sport of Larry Kings. If Larry King learned karate and started competing, but refused to wear a belt, how would you know he had reached the highest rank? He'd be wearing gold suspenders, he'd be wearing white suspenders, he'd be wearing green suspenders, or he'd be wearing brown suspenders. Brown is the highest ranking color underneath black. And since Larry King doesn't compromise his style, they would be brown suspenders. Wax on, wax off is actually the instructions written on one of Larry King's prescription bottles. I call this one, the hills need bifocals. Which of the following hills have eyes? Vatican Hill, Capitol Hill, Parliament Hill, or Kremlin Hill? Parliamentary procedure states all laws must be passed with either an aye or a nay, and Parliament Hill, the home of the Canadian Parliament, is no exception. So, I guess Canadians would say, I vote aye, Abe. I vote.
Where's your vibe, girl? Rock my world, girl. Ooh, yeah.
And now, sleeping with the fishes, and it's a this or that. I'm going to read off 7 animals. For each one, you need to tell me if the singular and plural version of the animal are the same, or if the singular and plural versions are different. If the singular and plural versions are the same, press the square button. If the singular and plural versions are different, press your circle button. For each one you get right, I'll give you 300. Okay, great. Let's just get right to it. Moose, mouse, sheep, ox. What's the plural of cretin? Also, more than one octopus are called octopi. Octopi. We've finished round 1. And you're doing pretty well, probably because there's no competition. Keep in mind, in round 2, everything is worth twice as much. Alright, let's get back to it. May I introduce What Happens in England Stays in England. You know, marrying Henry VIII was quite a gamble. Which of these roulette bets has roughly the same odds as the odds of being beheaded after marrying Henry VIII? Evens, 1 through 12, red, or 00? That's about 50-50, the same odds as conceiving a male heir. This would have worked. There's about a 1 in 3 chance of winning this bet, and King Henry VIII had 2 of his 6 wives beheaded. Just goes to show you, ladies, a good divorce lawyer will make all the difference. This one's called, My Number's Been Retired. Can I have yours?
It's the perfect choice to change the motor, then buzz in and see if you are right.
Okay, now sometimes these order questions can be a little tough, so I'm adding $1,000 for a correct answer. Put these famous athletes in order of the numbers they wore, starting with the lowest. Dan Marino, Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan. Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, Dan Marino, Michael Jordan, Dan Marino, Babe Ruth, Dan Marino, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, or Babe Ruth, Dan Marino, Michael Jordan. Their numbers were 3, 13, and 23, respectively. You just picked up an extra $1,000 for that. That's also the same order you'd put them in for how important the Looney Tunes were in their careers.
Fucking chickens picking out a mate. Guess I'll marry 8.
Say hello to... I shudder to think. If Shutter Island were actually an educational film about shutter speeds on a camera, which sequel would you watch to learn how much or how little your camera lens should open? Aspect ratio ridge, depth of fields, aliasing valley, or aperture falls? The aperture setting on a camera determines how much the lens should open when taking a particular picture. I love movies with twist endings. That's why I keep demanding that this game end with a twist. And you'll find out that twist after the 72nd and final episode.
Cookie, sorry to interrupt. There are actually 73 episodes in the game.
Oh, spoiler alert, Bob!
Rolling through the park with the sarsaparilla. For me, I'm
Here we have geographically accurate fashion. I love those collared shirts that have a little animal on the chest. It's like I have a little pet, or that I only have one nipple and it's in the shape of a tiny man riding a horse. Suppose you could only buy animal logo shirts if the animal were native to the country in which you were shopping. Which of these shirts would you not be able to buy? A Le Tigre tiger shirt in a Japanese Bloomingdale's, an American Eagle bald eagle shirt in a Canadian mall, a Lacoste alligator shirt in a Chinese Macy's. Can ya? Apparently you can't. Oh, you're gonna kick yourself. The tiger is native to India, Russia, and other parts of Asia, but not Japan. Which is a really good thing, because tigers are terrible at karaoke.
Hold me, never let me go.
How about rhymes with cabbage? I feel bad for the really smart people from the 1800s who, if they were alive today, would be very rich and very famous. Instead, they rode horses and got syphilis. If Charles Babbage were alive today, what would his personalized Porsche license plate probably say? Aviator, radiate, ahoy mate, or calculate? Charles Babbage created the first real working calculating machine and is known as the father of computing. Point of fact, the calculator was invented by accident when Babbage was trying to create a machine that could spell boobs with upside-down numbers. Welcome to the attack. When you see two Oh, you know all about the attack. Lovely. Here's your clue. You're gonna stick that where? Scopes can get to some pretty hard-to-reach places. Good luck. That's the game! I think you need to be scoped to see if you have a brain. Bend over.